May 7th, 1942, 8:15 a.m., the Coral Sea, 450 miles northeast of Australia. Two of the most powerful naval forces ever assembled in the Pacific are in the same ocean. Neither one can find the other. What is about to happen in the next 48 hours will be recorded as a draw. Both sides will count their losses and call them acceptable. But one of these fleets is lying, and the lie won't become clear until 1 month later at a tiny atoll called Midway. Comment where you are watching from, and don't forget to subscribe. It's so much important for the growth of this channel to keep writing more stories that makes our generation alive. May 1942, the Pacific Theater. By May 1942, 5 months after Pearl Harbor, Japan had seized control of the Philippines, Malaya, Singapore, Burma, the Dutch East Indies, an empire stretching 7,000 miles across the Pacific. Now, Japan wanted Port Moresby, the last Allied airbase on the southern coast of New Guinea, standing between Japanese-controlled territory and the Australian mainland. Capture it, and northern Australia was within direct striking range of Japanese land-based aircraft. Australia could be next. American codebreakers at Pearl Harbor had cracked enough of Japan's naval code to know the attack was coming. Admiral Nimitz sent 2 carrier task forces into the Coral Sea, the USS Yorktown and the USS Lexington, to stop it. On the Japanese side, 2 fleet carriers, the Shokaku and Zuikaku, both veterans of Pearl Harbor. The invasion convoy was waiting for the naval battle to be decided before it moved on Port Moresby. The 2 sides were heading toward each other. Neither could see the other. Both were navigating by search aircraft, intelligence reports, and the fog that hangs over every naval battle before first contact. The battle opened on May 7th with a stroke of luck and a stroke of confusion on the same morning. The confusion, an American search aircraft reported 2 Japanese carriers at a position that turned out to hold only a destroyer and an oiler. Admiral Fletcher launched 93 aircraft at the wrong target. By the time the error was discovered, his strike force was scattered across the ocean. The luck, while that mistake was unfolding, another search aircraft found a real target, the Japanese light carrier Shoho, operating separately as part of the invasion group's escort. 93 American aircraft descended on the Shoho. In 9 minutes, she was struck by 13 bombs and 7 torpedoes. She sank. Lieutenant Commander Robert Dixon transmitted one of the most famous lines of the Pacific War, "Scratch one flat top." The Shoho was the first Japanese aircraft carrier ever sunk in combat. But the 2 main Japanese carriers, Shokaku and Zuikaku, were still out there, still searching. May 8th, 1942, 8:38 a.m., both sides find each other. On May 8th, American and Japanese search aircraft found each other's fleets at almost the exact same moment. Both sides launched full strikes within minutes, 2 armadas of aircraft crossing in opposite directions over the Coral Sea, each heading to destroy the other's fleet, while their own fleet was being attacked. There was one crucial difference. The Japanese carriers were operating under a weather front, clouds, rain squalls, poor visibility. The American carriers were in clear, bright tropical sunshine. The American strike hit the Shokaku with 3 bombs, wrecking her flight deck, but the Zuikaku vanished into a rain squall and was never touched. The Japanese strike found the American carriers in perfect visibility. The Yorktown took 1 bomb hit, serious, but she kept flying aircraft. The Lexington took 2 torpedoes and 2 bombs, and for a moment it looked like she would survive. At 12:47 p.m., the Lexington's captain reported, "This is the Lex. We've been hurt, but I think we're okay." He was wrong. The torpedo hits had ruptured aviation fuel lines deep inside the hull. Vapors were accumulating in sealed compartments. No one knew. At the exact moment the captain sent that message, those vapors reached an ignition source. The internal explosion tore through multiple decks simultaneously. Secondary blasts followed. The fire spread beyond control. At 2:45 p.m., another massive explosion. The captain ordered abandoned ship. The evacuation was remarkably orderly. Wounded first, then the crew in organized groups. The ship's dog, a mascot called Wags, was handed down from the flight deck to a waiting sailor in a small boat. At 8 p.m., the USS Lexington was finished off by torpedoes from an American destroyer to prevent her from falling into Japanese hands. 216 of her 2,951-man crew died. 2,735 were rescued. By the numbers, Japan had won. They sank the Lexington, one of only 4 American fleet carriers in the entire Pacific. America lost more ships, more aircraft, more men. Japan's newspapers declared a great victory. Imperial headquarters announced 2 American carriers sunk, but Operation MO, the invasion of Port Moresby, was cancelled. The convoy turned back. Australia was safe. And something else had happened. Something that nobody in either fleet fully understood yet. June 4th, 1942, Midway Atoll, 1 month later. Japan launched Operation MI, the attack on Midway, with the most powerful naval force in Japanese history. Admiral Yamamoto intended it to be the decisive battle of the Pacific War. But the Shokaku was still being repaired from her bomb damage at the Coral Sea. She would not make it to Midway. And the Zuikaku, completely undamaged, was also absent. Her air group had taken such heavy losses at the Coral Sea that she needed time to retrain before committing to another major engagement. 2 carriers, 2 of Japan's 6 frontline fleet carriers, missing from Midway because of what happened in the Coral Sea. At Midway, Japan committed 4 carriers. All 4 were sunk. The battle permanently destroyed Japan's offensive carrier capability and handed the initiative in the Pacific to the United States. If the Shokaku and Zuikaku had been at Midway, the numbers would have been 6 Japanese carriers against 3 American. The battle, and possibly the war, would have looked very different. The Lexington's 216 dead did not die for a draw. They died for Midway. They just didn't know it yet. The Battle of the Coral Sea was the first naval battle in history in which the opposing fleets never saw each other. Every blow was struck by aircraft at ranges of 100 miles or more. It ended the era of the battleship and proved the aircraft carrier was now the decisive weapon at sea. The Lexington was found in 2018, 2,400 meters beneath the Coral Sea, largely intact, her aircraft still in her hangar bays. Australia has never forgotten what was decided in those waters. Their alliance with the United States was forged, in part, in the Coral Sea. And the Yorktown, damaged here, rushed back to Pearl Harbor for repairs that should have taken 90 days but were completed in 72 hours, made it to Midway. Her aircraft helped sink 4 Japanese carriers. She was torpedoed and sank 3 days later. Every battle feeds the next. The Coral Sea into Midway, Midway into Guadalcanal, Guadalcanal into the long advance that ended on the deck of USS Missouri in September 1945. They are all connected, and it starts here, in a battle that looked like a draw, that felt like a defeat, that was quietly, invisibly, the beginning of Japan's end. Here is the question I want you to answer in the comments. Japan had the bigger tactical win at the Coral Sea. America had the bigger strategic win. Which one matters more, and does the answer change depending on who is counting the dead? Subscribe if you are not already. The next video goes directly inside the battle the Coral Sea made possible, Midway, and it is one of the most extraordinary stories in the history of naval warfare.